St. Teresa. Welcome back to another Cooking with Mrs. Berube session. And this week I am wearing a hat because we're kicking off Hats Off for Mental Health. So next week we're encouraging all of you St. Teresa students to wear a hat in support of people that are suffering with mental illness or sadness or depression might be happening. So wear your hats. Today's recipe, macaroni and cheese. Everybody loves it. It's not too hard. We have a few steps to follow. Okay, to start, we have 2 cups of dry pasta that I boiled, and I'm letting cool off in this frying pan. I put a little bit of olive oil in there just so it doesn't stick together. I'm just gonna put this off to the side. What we really need to focus on is making the cheese sauce. So a few things you need to do ahead of time to get organized is to grate a little bit of cheese. Choose 2 different kinds of cheese that you like. So I chose a sharp cheddar and a regular cheddar cheese. I've already grated them so they're ready to go. I have a few things out, such as some butter, some whipping cream, some milk, so that I can get my sauce going. So we're gonna go and meet over at the oven. Hi again, I'm over at my stove right now. I'm warming up my frying pan so that I can make my cheese sauce. The first thing that needs to go in my frying pan is some butter. About 2 tablespoons of butter. And you want to melt that first. So turn your element up to about 6 or 7 and get that butter nicely melted. Okay, as you can see, all my butter is melted, and this is the point where I'm going to sprinkle in 2 tablespoons of flour on top of this butter mixture, and I'm going to start whisking this together. A whisk is really important in this recipe. If you don't have one, you can use a fork. You want to incorporate that butter in there. That's what gives your sauce a nice thick consistency. Now we're ready for some whipping cream or whole cream. Any kind of thick, heavy cream will work here. We're whisking. And some milk. Now when I was shredding my cheese, I saved a little bit of it. Okay, I've been stirring and I see that my mixture is thickening up. I'm waiting for the bubbles to start popping up before I put my cheese in. I saved a little bit of cheese for the topping, but most of my cheese is going into the cheese sauce right away. Okay, I see bubbles, so I'm going to put in some of this cheese a little bit at a time, get that to melt before I add the rest. Ooh, it looks good. All right, that's melted. Add some more cheese. Oh, it's really starting to thicken now. Throw in the rest of that cheese. Don't want to waste any. Turn down the heat. Don't want to burn it. Give a nice little mixture. And there you have a beautiful cheese sauce. I'm just going to take that off the heat. Alright, I'm back at my island and I'm ready to start putting my mac and cheese together. So I have the cooked pasta that I cooked al dente, which means it's not completely cooked through. So I cooked it probably 9-10 minutes. And give it a little stir to loosen it up a little bit. Put the macaroni in the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to pour this cheese sauce that we made over top. Ooh, it looks so good. All right. Make sure it gives a good coating on that pasta. That looks great. A a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, okay, so ready to make the topping. I melted 2 tablespoons of butter in my bowl. And in that mixture, I'm going to add panko. Now panko, if you don't have it at home, that's okay, because I didn't have enough, 3/4 cups of it. So I crushed up some crackers and I'm gonna mix those in there. And along with the crackers, some Parmesan cheese. You want the butter to kind of blend in there. That'll help with the crunchiness on the top. All right, and I remember I said to save some of that grated cheese. So we're going to take some of that grated cheese and we're going to sprinkle that first on top of the pasta. And then we're going to put the topping. Try to spread out a little bit. Oh, I think I forgot something. Paprika. This is paprika. It's a little red spice. If you don't have it, just a little bit more salt and pepper will do. So I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of paprika. I've been preheating my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to throw that in there for about 30 minutes. Out of the oven, it's crispy, it's bubbling, it's gooey. So I would probably let it sit for a few minutes before diving in normally, but I just can't wait while we're getting this ready. Just remember that cooking is a little different than baking, so you don't have to be as exact with your measurements. So if you're a little bit short of one ingredient, you can cheat a little bit. In baking, you really can't. You have to be exact. I'm trying to get all the gooey goodness and the crunchiness out of my casserole. Also, when you're making mac and cheese, you don't have to use just macaroni. Today I did little seashells, and they're just as good. You can use any kind of pasta that you have that's small little pieces. Delicious. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.